Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see, today we will be breaking down the latest episode from Love and Marriage Huntsville. We are on episode 19 of the season 6 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we're on the second half of the season 6, as you can tell. And so let's get into it. So for everyone who's catching out the replay, hello to you. Thank you for doing so. And for all of you who are checking out this live recap with me now, thank you for kicking it with me. I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on in. StreamYard is giving me trouble. It can't locate my webcam, so that's why I'm not on camera. But in any event, the episode opens up with Melody lighting up Marceau like she was doing in the previous episode at the end. So Melody was totally letting him have it, and I was here for it. What's up, Phyllis? Thank you so much for being here. What's up, Anonymous? Thank you so much for being here. I adore y'all. Thank you. So Melody was lighting him up. Marceau, he was not being as rude as he normally is, like at the season 5 reunion when he kept interrupting her. And then Melody tore a page out of Anonymous's book and said, well, I'm not going to sit up here and argue with legs, hips, and breasts. Y'all remember how he kept constantly interrupting Melody so she couldn't bring up his alleged affair? So then in this episode, Marceau was not interrupting Melody, and she was able to say, you know, I have been in business as an entrepreneur for like 15 years now. And then Marceau had the nerve to say, oh, but you filed for bankruptcy. And she let him know, hold up, I was getting a divorce. That's why I filed bankruptcy. That was like a survival move to rebuild. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that Marceau does not play fair. He knew good and doggone well why Melody filed bankruptcy. She was getting a divorce, and everything that she shared with Martell, she needed to dissolve it and start over. So I don't see gaslighters and insecure people. They're going to play unfair. But Melody came right back and said, you filed for bankruptcy too, but you weren't getting a divorce. Your finances weren't just right. And he couldn't even debate it. You can tell Marceau don't really want to go there, but he was just like, let me just grin and bear it and get this scene over with. They all say we got fake storylines and me and Tisha not talking about our lawsuit. So let me just go ahead and not interrupt her. And then Melody said, you know, you want to put me down and just say that I'm just in e-commerce and just selling t-shirts. And she said, but I could have said, how can you throw a Black Expo when you have a $5 million fraud lawsuit against you? And he's like, and I would have respected your opinion. I would have respected your opinion. Stop the cap, Marceau. No, you would not. You would not have respected her opinion because you already mad that Stormy is calling you the B word. And YouTube, they make you wait 10 minutes before you start cursing. And it's really hard when the episode opens up with Marceau, but I will try my best, okay? So I also want to point out that Marceau lied in this scene and said to Melody, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. She said, well, I just don't do e-commerce. I still do property preservation, what I've been doing for about 15 years. He said, I didn't know that. That was a lie. Because in the first half of season 6, when they were planning the Black Expo, it was in one of the planning meetings before Melody had arrived. He was like, yeah, I'm going to teach the community how to get into real estate, and they're not going to have to pay $3,000 to learn. Let me know in the chat if y'all remember that part. It was in that same conference room, and Marceau was either talking to Martell and or Maurice, but he shaded Melody's property preservation master course because he's jealous that she is able to charge $3,000. But that is an investment in yourself. That is an investment into your new business. And like Melody says, the orders that you get to fix up homes, next thing you know, you'll be breaking even. Then after that, you'll be profitable. Marceau is just mad because he didn't think of it himself nor does he have the following because he's such a butthole and he's got allegedly the lawsuit. Nobody would trust his advice anyway, let alone pay $3,000 to hear anything that he has to say. Okay, so Phyllis remembers too. She said definitely he knew. Yes, he talked about that. Oh, and Anonymous looking stuff up now. When stuff is public knowledge, Marceau, and allegedly there are tax liens. And you know what? And even on the entrepreneurial side, I think that's sort of kind of common for some people. But just say that, Marceau. Why are you trying to run and hide like you're so perfect? You're not God. And everybody can look stuff up. I'm all in for Melody calling them out. It's long overdue. Going high didn't work. So I'll drag all these demons right back down to the gates of hell. I know that's right, Lisa Love. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm so glad that Melody was able to get everything out and Marceau did not try to interrupt her. Low key, he was sitting there, he was giving feminine energy because she had a normal plastic cup. He had what looked like a little teacup, like he was back at the high tea. He was missing his dress and his nylons and a Derby, Kentucky Derby hat, okay, to go with. So y'all, I can't wait when I hear y'all's feedback on this scene because Melody went in and I'm just so glad she was able to speak her piece. What's up, Gloria? Thank you so much for being here. All right, so let's move on. We got Tiffany and Lewis. So Lewis is the MVP in this scene with Tiffany, y'all. And it's a lot that I want to break down. So what we learned in this scene is that Lewis, he got him a new gig. He is coaching on the collegiate level. That is a good job. So that makes sense because I was wondering when we were going to see him. You can tell this second half of Love and Marriage Huntsville, they must have started filming it in the spring, which is like when baseball kind of kicks off, like early spring, because we weren't seeing him and he was on the road. So Tiffany was trying to complain about that. But Tiffany, this is a black man, girl, with a good job on a collegiate level. Let him go and make that money for you and provide. Also, remember Tiffany was saying how she had a man back in the day. He worked so hard, he didn't make enough money. And even when he worked overtime, it wasn't enough money. So Tiffany, what's good, girl? How can a man please you? Between the two, I'd rather take the one with the money versus the one that's working overtime and it still ain't enough. So I don't understand why she's complaining. Now, Phyllis in the chat said she thinks Tiffany might be depressed, like some postpartum depression. That's real. That's definitely valid. Phyllis says Lewis did not want to have a baby, in my opinion. Phyllis, you and I, we share that opinion, darling. I didn't think he wanted the baby either. I think when it comes to Tiffany, though, he's definitely a big teddy bear. And I think that he gave in to her request, and I think he did not want to defy her. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I also want to point out that Tiffany was trying to say that Lewis actually said, well, I need you more at home. I need you helping out, not just with providing, but with the housework. And I don't want Ace to feel like you when you said your dad was around. Now, y'all, Lewis seemed noticeably annoyed that she would bring that up. Number one, I don't think he appreciated being compared to his dad that wasn't around when he knows he's around. And then also, he kind of looked like, you're bringing this up, something that I confided in you privately. You are now bringing that up in front of the cameras to have a moment. And I don't think he liked that. I think Lewis thought that wasn't cool at all. So I hope Tiffany wouldn't use his personal info. I hope she's not that desperate to film scenes for a reality TV show. Because he just kind of looked like, why are you going there? He even at one point said, let's keep it real. When I'm home, I am involved. And then Tiffany, she also said she was feeling unattractive. She said, I'm heavier since before I got pregnant. And you know what was so sweet? Lewis said to Tiffany, you just had a baby. You look amazing. So he is empathetic. He understands that she just had a baby and he wants his wife to know that she's beautiful. He does not want her to be insecure. So Big ups to you, Lewis, because you could have been a jerk. You could have played into her insecurity to make her feel worse, but he was trying to reassure her, and I appreciate that. What's up, Soul Star Music Lover? Thank you so much for being here, and please, like Soul Star said, please hit the like button on on this video. It will help me out so much. Yes, he is a teddy bear, but appears detached a little. You know what? That's very fair. That is a fair assessment, Phyllis, especially if he kind of wasn't on board with the baby. That would make sense, in my opinion, that he would detach. And then he's physically detached because of his job. He's on the road. He doesn't come across like he would cheat. He actually seems like he's very much in love with Tiffany and would like, what's the saying? Like he likes your dirty draws. He gives that vibe when it comes to Tiffany. But he does seem a little like he's over it. He's over everything that comes with her having a baby. Because I think she's very extra with it. Because, like she's been doing for the past few episodes, she had the cover up, but she was nursing the baby. So every single scene that we see Tiffany, she gonna be nursing. And I bet if she don't have that baby, she gonna start bringing a pump to the scene. And when I have been around that pump, that thing was loud as hell. So I think she's going to start bringing the pump on the show. What's up, Annette? Thank you so much for being here. And Simply Beautiful. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you. All right, so let's get on right to it. Let me make sure I'm checking out my notes. I think I covered everything in this scene. I think Tiffany is doing too much. I think Lewis, he has a right. He has to be on the road to work. And, he did not appreciate her bringing up his dad and comparing her to him, comparing Lewis to his dad. So, y'all, let's get to this scene. This was a lot. This was Kimmy's town hall meeting where she wanted everyone to give Tisha and Marceau feedback about the Black Expo. Now, for whatever reason, Stormy, she was under the impression that she was at a planning meeting for the next expo. Now, of course, you and I are not in Kimmy's text thread. I don't know what Kimmy texts everybody, but I'm not sure why Stormy thought they were going to be giving input on the next one. But she said, if I knew we were just going to be letting them know how dumb they did the expo, I would have just stayed on home. But let me just say, Marceau, he decided before, he thought he was rushing in before Melody came in, he was going to give everybody feedback about his lunch with Mel. First he says it was lunch, and then he goes, well, it was kind of just like drinks. He had to lessen it because he don't want to feel hold if she come in and say, well, we didn't have lunch. And he also don't want to hear Tisha's mouth if she's feeling away like it was a date or something. I like Big Lou, but he seemed annoyed by Tiffany. I agree. I am tired of the nursing scene. She's going to milk it. Babies are a whole lot of work. I think more than what she bargained for. I don't know what the girl wants. He got to make some money. What's up, Keita? Thank you so much for being here. Tiffany needs to get some help. She and Big Lou have had this conversation before she got pregnant. Very much so. And he said they were going to be busy. Lewis has given Tiffany everything she's asked for, even the ambition her first husband lacked. If the baby is too much for Tiffany while he travels, they can always get a relative or a nanny to help out. Yes, they can. Absolutely. What's up, pretty brown eyes? I see you, darling. Thank you so much for being here. I know y'all are subscribed to her channel. Yes, please hit that like button. And what's up, Dream Girls? And y'all speaking to each other? I love it. Good evening, Tawana. Thank you so much for being here. What's up, Brenda? And Anonymous says, narcissist triangulation by legs, hips, and breasts. He is a trip. He's very like see-through. I don't see how Tisha stomachs him and don't speak up. Like, when is she going to have a breakthrough? It was a date in Marceau's head. Why you think Tisha was so pissed? Exactly. You right about that, because she was triggered as soon as Melody opened her mouth. She was probably so worried that he was so geeked to be out on that date. You right. He warned her about this. Yes, he did. He warned her about having the baby and what it would do. So then he, as Melody was walking in, he was sure to say, that he apologized. And then Melody said, yes, he did. Now, I also want to mention Marceau is such a hater. He was saying, but Melody, if you weren't on a reality TV show, you wouldn't be selling as many skincare products. What's the point of that, Marceau? She's on the TV show. She's been on our screens. I'm about to say Monday. January will be 5 years since she's been on our TV screens. 5 years. That's a moot point at this juncture, sweetie. It doesn't matter if she didn't have a show, how much she'd be selling. She's on the show now, and Melody is the reason that you're on the show. You're just hating that the champagne thing, it didn't nearly take off like Seventh Avenue. And just say that. Why don't you just enroll in Melody's masterclass, Marceau? Ain't nothing wrong with that. If I was him, I would be enrolled and I would make sure my webcam is working, okay? And this is StreamYard. I'd make sure that I'm in here and she gonna know that I'm taking her class so I can make me some more money. That's just how I look at that. I think we are being a bit too harsh on Tiffany, even though she is extra and annoying AF. What's up, Virgo energy? I think she is asking a lot out of Lou. She can, she's so hard to please. And I think Lou is amazing. He's got a good job. He seems deeply in love with her. And he even went as far to being open as having the baby. Tisha has always been hateful towards Mel, in my opinion. That's a very valid opinion. Mel needs to get that A. Marceau is using the TV for selling black products. Exactly. He's so hypocritical. What's up, Pacino Ruse? Thank you so much for being here. Melody was a millionaire before the show. Very good point, Keita. He knows that. The ex-movie theater attendee. I know. Just jealous all around, and his jealousy, it's very multi-layered because I think his psyche has like a love-hate relationship with Mel. Like physically he loves her, right? There's the attraction. And then he's jealous that she's so good in business and such a good salesperson. Not only do we root for her, but then she sells products and has really cool IG reels and TikTok reels. And you want to buy the stuff. Mel tried to groom her, but due to her ratchet environment, just my opinion. To me, Marceau wants the success that Mel has, but he doesn't know how to do it and is too arrogant to listen to a woman. Well, whose problem is that? If he's too arrogant to listen to a woman, that's a doggone shame. Please hit that like button, y'all, when you're coming into the crib. I would really appreciate it. Tisha needs to stop hating and get on the winning team. And while I am on Tink, her reunion look was giving Mrs. Grinch. You're a mean one, Mrs. Grinch. Y'all ain't playing today. Y'all fired up. Marceau's trolling has gone from being somewhat amusing to being annoying. 100%. He wants to be a male like Tisha. Yeah, the feminine energy. Marceau's issue is that his products are doing abysmally, even though he is on the same platform as well. She is soaring while the rest of them are experts and failing at everything. Dang, that is so true. All right, y'all. So, what I want to also point out with Melody, she said that there should have been some breakout sessions based on industry. So, they were giving feedback about the Black Expo, and I thought that was a very cool idea. If you've ever gone to like workshops, like women's workshops, there will be like the keynote speaker or like a general session. And then, yeah, you can break out into breakout sessions for things that you really wanted to talk about, whether it was like a health workshop or finances or anything. And then you can kind of go to where it's more specialized. I thought that was a great idea. And according to Tisha, that was something that they were going to do. But when they really couldn't get participation, they got rid of the breakout sessions. But Melody, she said it in a very lighthearted, respectful way. Tisha wasn't too pissed right then, but we know she's going to have an issue in a few minutes. So Stormy then says, after Melody, I felt like we needed a motivational speech, which, what I just said, like in a workshop, that could be your general speaker, your keynote speaker. And she said, I felt like we didn't really have that because all of the people that were there, they could not afford to hire a CPA or an attorney to help them break down paperwork. So they needed that motivational speech to, give themselves time and know that it'll happen. Marceau said that if you give someone a motivational speech, they'll walk away with nothing. How so, Marceau? It's motivation. Well, we all know what the deal was with that. He just had a problem because that opinion came from Stormy. He was pissed because when she came in, she walked over to Tisha, gave her a hug, and she went back to her seat. And Marceau felt away because she didn't speak. Very catty. Oh my gosh. So then he had it set in his mind that he was going to go back and forth with Stormy throughout the meeting. So she's really not feeling Marceau. I think that it is hilarious. And he actually, if y'all noticed, Marceau started referring to Stormy as Courtney's wife. Did y'all notice that? He said it at least twice. He would not say Stormy's name. She was Courtney's wife. Marceau is very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. He seems to have a very low opinion of women. For you to even do that, for you to decide you're not even going to say her name anymore, he's tit for tat, he's vengeful, and he is catty. It is ridiculous. I wonder, does he get a cycle? Is he about to do reassignment surgery? Did they put him on hormones? What is going on? He's a millimeter undercover. Yes, yes, I agree. He's a narcissistic, disgusting, and disrespectful. Absolutely. Not every situation is comedic. The Espo business meeting, right. Y'all are just spot on in the comments, and I totally agree. Tisha wants to command the room like Mel. Mel has a spirit that draws people in, unlike Tisha. Tisha needs to find her self-confidence and stop being mad at the women who have it. Dream girl, do you write books? This is it's so profound, and yet it's still poetic at the same time. I love that. She needs to find her self-confidence and stop being mad at the women who have it. Narcs love to talk to a peer like they know what they are talking about. And that, if that ain't Marceau, that is 100% Marceau. Bad leadership on Marceau's part. Yes. And you know what, Pacino rules? Kimmy said it in this episode, as well as in the first half of season 6. Marceau, you would always drag down our comeback group meetings. So I can tell he just talks so offensively in any business meeting, and it's probably due to intimidation. So the Scots actually had sponsors for the expo, but no one knew that after Mel gave them the blueprint. He throws shade all the time. He wasn't raised properly, in my opinion. Yes, definitely wants attention and is such a BAN. Come on now. And then Virgo says she sees both sides when it comes to Marceau versus Stormy. I really feel like Tisha lacks self-love. She's in love with a man who could care less about her. Men who love their wives will never treat them like he treats her. Absolutely. I think the insecurity makes him feel in control. As long as he can keep her questioning herself, then he can feel in control. He thinks his trolling is entertaining. Well, that is very bad thinking. He needs to think again. My goodness. So we are all on the same page here. It is hard for her with Kung Fu Panda as her mom. I know. And Miss Wanda thinks that always jumping into her battles is empowering her. It's not. Tisha still is finding her voice. He's also an attention seeker. Yes, no books yet, but I've considered it. You should. Stormy is disrespectful to call a man a B, even if he is one. And Tisha took it like a champ and said, I like Stormy. Are you serious? I know. And she said that Mel had a dark soul for way less. Melody ain't never did nothing like that to Marceau. But Melody got the dark soul. It's because, she and Wanda don't want to deal with Holiday Heart and Stormy. Kimmy needs to shut her tissue 2.0 A up. I'm sick of her. I know I'm sick of Kimmy too. We gonna get on her. I just love engaging with y'all, so I want to get caught up on the comments. Him and his brother seek attention all the time. Yes, he is a grown boy. I'm unclear that Tisha is in love with Marceau. Really, you question it, Pacino? So my question for you is, if she's not in love with Marceau, what makes her stay? Do you think it's the commingling of the businesses and the money? Do you think that's why she stays? That is so sad if she's not still in love with him. How you are raised affects you as an adult unless you can recognize the bad behavior. Yes, please hit the like button, y'all. I would appreciate it. Tisha knows that her husband lusts after Mel, and that's gotta suck, right? To know that your husband checks out another woman and she's fine, and it's already Tisha who seems like, very insecure. Unfortunately, I'm sure that triggers her. He needs to grow up. You and me both, Pacino. I don't see love in the Scott's relationship. It comes across as she is determined to be in the marriage for appearances, but I don't think she likes Marceau. Full of crap, always has been. Kimmy is definitely being the bone carrier this half of the season. And Kimmy seems to be a hater on Nell, but we're going to get there. And then Martell told Marcia, yes, Gloria, you took the words out of my mouth. That was hilarious. In this scene, Martell, okay, he could have went straight to the comedy club because he was hilarious. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So Courtney, let me first knock out this Courtney part. What Courtney was trying to tell Marceau, you need to let Tisha run the meeting. You need to let her talk because I can tell that she's more organized than you. And it was because Courtney knew that Marceau was trying to be disrespectful when he stopped referring to Stormy by her name, just as Courtney's wife. Courtney knew what time it was, and he just started saying, you need to let Tisha run the meeting since you're so petty. So then after that, Stormy called Marceau the B word. Marceau agreed. He said, I am a B. And Stormy said, yeah, you a bad one. And then Martell said, throw that ass. I was cracking up, y'all. Okay, Martell, I know you're a regular down at the strip club. I'm sure when you're in Atlanta, you go to the Black Historical Strip Club, Magic City. Okay? They know you down there, I'm sure. He is so silly. But Martell, don't you ever tell Marceau to throw that ass. We don't want him throwing it in a circle, a square, a triangle. That would be traumatizing. We'll all be in therapy. And Dr. Francis, he'll be overbooked. Don't you ever tell Marceau to throw that ass ever again. I cannot believe he said that, but that ish was hilarious as all get out. Black women and men need to bring positivity to reality. You're right, Phyllis. I think she is staying as a middle finger to the as a middle finger to the fans. Well, you know what? Tisha would be doing that based on her pride if she would just stay with that man to give us the middle finger. That's funny. She is silly. Y'all are cracking me up. Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to drop the link because I have a feeling we're going to be cracking up between Martell and Marceau, and I know y'all going to be dragging them. So let me get through this. So y'all, okay, so they had their meeting. Stormy was done. She walked right on out. And Melody had things to do. She had a plane to catch. Oh, but before I forget, Melody, of course, was saying that, there was some disorganization. They need to tighten that up. And Tisha was like, so you're saying it's disorganized? And Melody's like, oh, for sure it was disorganized. Anytime you ask a vendor for a vendor fee the day of, that's disorganized. Tisha was like, I know we're getting feedback, but the expo was very good and it was not disorganized. And Melody was like, we're not going to discount what I said. And she said in her confessional, when everybody else gave their opinions, it was not a problem. When it comes to me, it is. And see, when it comes to Melody, Tisha will say crazy things to her, like you have a dark soul, because Melody doesn't move like Stormy, and Miss Van doesn't move like Holiday Heart. So, Tisha feels comfortable. Like you know how people might take, they say people take your kindness for weakness, but sometimes if you handle yourself in a classy way, in a professional way, people take that for weakness. Just because you may not be down to physically scrap, they think that they can hoe you. They think that they can disrespect you. And that is the simple mind that Tisha has when it comes to Melody and Miss Van. And Wanda shares that same simple mindset. All right, so let's move right on along to the next scene so I can drop the link for y'all. So then Kimmy invites Nell over. And Nell was a good sport about it. Kimmy was trying to have a moment. It did not land. So Kimmy invites Nell to her office to tell her that she held the town hall meeting without her. And Nell was like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me again. First, Tisha tells me about the expo, but doesn't invite me to be like a vendor or a panelist. And then Kimmy brings up the town hall meeting, but then she has it without me. And then Nell is like, well, I don't think that that was cool. And Kimmy's excuse was she wanted the vendors who were at the Black Expo to talk. But Tiffany was at that town hall meeting, and she was not a vendor, and she was not on the panel because Tiffany was sitting in the audience, and she couldn't believe that Marceau couldn't break down venture capitalism for someone who had that question. So Kimmy just wanted to shade Nell. She wanted to be catty towards her. She wanted her to feel excluded all over again. And so she not only did she exclude her from the town meeting, y'all, she had the nerve to invite Nell over to her office to say, "Bit, I excluded you again. Now what?" That's really what Kimmy was trying to do. Nell was a good sport about it. I think the best thing to do is what Nell did, and that's to give 0 F's about it. She didn't huff and puff. She did not storm out. She was very gracious. And they even laughed at the end when she said, "We're Gucci." And then Kimmy said, "Yeah, because I can't afford to buy everybody a purse." And then Nell laughed at that. Nell was good. She gave her no energy. No energy. So she could hardly tell that, Nell was annoyed. But Kimmy, I'm really disappointed that you would go so far as to purposely exclude Nell from your town hall meeting and then meet with her to let her know. Kimmy even was capping when she said, Huntsville is small and I didn't want her to hear it from other people. I wanted her to hear it from me. That was to look more innocent. That was just to look innocent, like you give a F about whether or not Nell feels excluded, because now that would be embarrassing at this point, right? So you really just wanted to have a moment where you think you're gonna read her in your office, invite her there to be read. But no, she handled it like a champ. And Kimmy, I see right through that. I'm not feeling that at all. So let me get caught up on the comments. Kimmy got the right one with Nell. Nell got time every day and we'll check you. And bag, honey, yes. Nell moves like Melody. Yes, she does, Keita. I agree with that. Kimmy is fake as they come. I can't stand her. Yes, Crystal. And, I have empathy with her because I know what time it is health-wise. I'm thankful that she made it through that. But, oh my gosh, the way, and obviously she hates on Nell. Because why would you exclude her and not Tiffany? You know what I'm saying? But to actually invite her to your office to say, "B, I excluded you. You've been excluded again. Now what?" That ain't cool. And to wrap it up in a present called, and I don't want her hearing it from anyone else, so I'm going to tell her, "No, you wanted a scene where you would like think that you were hoeing her, okay, in front of the cameras and let her know that you were excluding her again. And I don't think that's cool. Nell has 30 years of experience as a business owner. Kimmy retired as a nurse and does not have a thriving business. Make it make sense. She was not phased at all, not one bit. Pretty Brown Eye says Kimmy was shady to have a meeting to tell her she didn't invite her a second time. I know that is out cold, ain't it? I could not believe she would do that. Kimmy was really disrespectful towards Nell in that scene. Yes, she was. And she really tried to wrap it up in a pretty little bow called, I don't want you to hear it from anyone else. So I'm going to tell you myself. No, you were being disrespectful. I don't like that at all. Yes, calling her it was a joke. Kimmy was disrespectful. She's just like her hubby and her sister-in-law and brother-in-law, in my opinion. Absolutely. I used to think that because, she said at the one reunion, if she wasn't related to Tisha by marriage, she wouldn't be her type of chick. But now I'm guessing that is all cap. She really is like that as well. After all that Kimmy has been through, you would think she would come out on the other side as a different person. Come on now, dream girl. Nice, nasty. There you go, PBE. That is how you describe Kimmy. Tisha is Tink Tink. Miss Betty Steele is Holiday Heart. And Kimmy is nice, nasty. 100%. But I really wish Nell get a good stylist. She's beautiful, just my opinion. She is gorgeous, absolutely. She may be the type, once she likes something, she doesn't change. Like she always wears the wig with the top ponytail. And then in this scene, she let it down, but I think the wig just had to be styled a little bit. Yeah, so let's move right on along. We're going to get to Martell in this scene. So okay. So let me just read through my notes because I want to get to the point where Chris Fletcher joins them. So Martell meets with his business partner, Fred. They co-own a custom home building company together. And we'll see if Martell's home gets built before the Scotts. Y'all, I actually feel like Martell and Fred, they can build this house on this lot before Marceau and Tisha's dream house gets built. What y'all think? I think this house and this scene will get built before the Scotts. Let me see what y'all are saying. Kimmy should have been humble, 100%. Hotel and his props. Broken joke. I've been through a lot the last 18 months and I'm definitely different. Thank God for growth and grace, 100%. So then this Fred guy really had Martell's back because I kind of felt like he was kind of interfering with the conversation when he didn't really know. So Chris walks up, y'all. Do y'all remember when he first came up, Martell looked at him and he said, your pants so tight, squeezing your balls. Did y'all notice that? So what did that strike y'all as a little interesting? And I get it if he thinks Chris's pants are tight. I was just wondering, like, why would you say that? Not if it's a scene. I was wondering, like, oh, okay. But yes, Pacino rules Fred does need to pipe down because when Chris says to him in this scene, I need you out by the first, Martell had the nerve to say that he was going to stay for another week and a half. And here go Fred. You just telling him now? You just telling him now you need him out by the first? That's too soon. Like, it's just another week and a half. And I'm like, Fred, you don't know about the prior conversations, bruh. He been knew he need to get out. He has known this. So you just pipe down while you all, puffing up for Martell and you know nothing about the conversation and the business. And Chris was saying, Martell is my friend, but the owner of the house is my client. And I have that fiduciary obligation to look out for my client. And that's 100%. That's like tied to his real estate license. And especially because, you hook the homeowner up with the tenant who's your friend. Chris Fletcher has to be by the book with Martell, because the last thing he will want is the homeowner trying to report Chris Fletcher to the state. And he's like, this tenant he put in my house is his close friend. He can't even get this ninja to move out. So Chris Fletcher has to be super duper strict on Martell. And Martell is just taking Chris's friendship for weakness because he ain't moved out. And that ain't right. So Anonymous says, Fred owns the business. Why is Hotel saying he's business partners with Fred? Yeah, it sounds like he's doing the footwork, and Fred probably has like the means to, purchase the lot and take care of the drilling and all of that. Yes, he needed to pipe down. I know, I was cracking up. I was like, why are you paying attention to how tight Chris's pants are? And, if you can see his NUTS, okay? They're not going to build that house. They said Belinda's coming from Martell about that lot. Oh, okay. Coochie watching. Right. All up in. Yes, Keita. Go back and watch. He looks at Chris and said, your pants so tight, squeezing your balls. I'm like, it's giving Ernesto, Shirley Strawberry's husband, on one of those jail calls where the friend called and said, what you looking like? You working out? I started to do a video on that. I was like, oh, okay. The only house the Scotts are going to have on that lot is a 3-room tent. I know. But I wouldn't be surprised if this house gets built before the Scotts. I really would have preferred if Fred Flintstone would have shut the... You don't even go here, Otis. I know that's right. Oh my gosh. He is dumb. I know. But I just thought that was interesting for Martell to notice that. She's known since last season that the house was for sale. That's right. Absolutely. He knew that he had to move. I guess Martell would know. Always wear Tank's clothes. I know. For sure. Martell said, nut crunchers, y'all are so silly. Well, I'm going to drop this link so we can get into it. And I want y'all to be able to vent, because Marceau is just a trip. He is highly disrespectful. He ain't got to worry about me buying nothing. So if anybody wants to come on up, y'all are more than welcome. Unlawful detainer. I believe Fred has been lied to. I had that thought also, Phyllis, that no telling what Martell told him to get on 100%. Fred don't have all of the info. Absolutely. What's up, Anonymous? How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm trying to get over whatever cold I had this morning. Looking at this episode, I'm thankful to the Lord that our lovely critical thinker Melody Cherie is not leaving Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yeah, I don't want her to. I know, because I was getting scared when the reunion. I was like, why are people talking like she's going to announce something?
I think they're trying to force her to leave, but I'm glad she nipped it in the bud, because I do agree this is her show. As you can see with the change in direction of the show, you're seeing more of, I think, analysis and other things. Is that Virgo energy?
Yes, it is.
Boo.
Oh, my lovely lady. I love the woman of knowledge. What's up with Virgo energy? I was just going to say, I think you can get back to the, storylines happening. I know OWN showed some clips recently. I thought it should have made the cut, but it didn't. Where Melody was talking about her business acumen and how, what's his name? Legs, hips, and breasts needed to bow down to it, which I don't know why he thinks he's still above anything. It's just crazy. But one thing I just want to point before, everybody in the panel speaks is, if you noticed in that scene where they were in the room, Melody, Tiffany, as well as, I'll give it to Stormy and even Courtney, were trying to do things what was for the community, for Black, or just their show to make it be better next time. But if you notice, all 4 of the snolts they knew it was a rent party to give Snot 1.0 some money so they could have a new place. And they didn't care. That's why they, in my opinion, they weren't receptive to at least hearing different ideas. Like the whole part about talking about having a CPA or a lawyer be at the episode. That's important. You could have the small business administration be there because they usually give a checklist of what you need to do in order to be an entrepreneur and how to follow it. Those things are critical for people. But I just noticed you're seeing kind of like a turf war between people who want the show to kind of grow and help the community and those who just think that they need to be honored and adored and they don't know what they're doing. But those are my thoughts initially, because I see we have a great panel here.
Yes, absolutely. What's up, Virgo Energy and Pretty Brown Eyes? And then after Virgo goes for a few minutes, then I'll have Pretty Brown Eyes be able to speak her piece as well. All right, go ahead, Virgo Energy.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
What's up? I was gonna say something. Oh my God. I think Pretty Brown Eyes should go. My brain just blanked for some stupid reason. Okay, I remember what I was gonna say. So follow up on what Anonymous just said. Hello? Did I mute myself again by mistake?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Okay, all right. To follow up on what you said, I think Kimmy was also interested in moving the expo forward. I think she also wanted it to do well. I think that's the only Scott that wanted it to do well. Because every time she brings out something, Maurice kind of like downplays what she's saying. And every time she says something, Marceau cuts her off and Maurice is fine with it. So that's what I wanted to say about what you said. Then for me, I'm just curious as to how Tisha had all that energy, all that fever for Stormy at the expo, or after the expo for being so-called disrespectful to Marceau, and they almost got into blows if Tisha hadn't walked away at the coffee shop. So all of a sudden, she's fine with Stormy calling Marceau a bad bee to her face in front of all the women, and then getting so bold as to come and say it in front of him himself. But Mel says that the organization wasn't 100%, and she goes off. That's confusing for me. So that leads me to believe that there's an alliance at play. Tisha, as usual, is latching off onto somebody who she thinks has money, has status, and who she can rip off, who she can get something from. That used to be Mel. Now it's Stormy. So now she's ready to take anything Stormy says, anything Stormy does. It doesn't matter what it is, but she's going to tolerate it because she doesn't really have any more friends on the show. Stormy is really her only friend. Kimmy tolerates her, even though they're the same person. Kimmy tolerates her. Her and Tiffany are not getting along because Tiffany's calling her out. So Destiny isn't here anymore. Nobody really has their lips up her ass anymore. And the whole we're going after Mel thing has been stopped. So she really has no place on the show. The only person she has right now is Stormy. So even if Stormy were to spit in Marceau's face, punch him in the face, anything, Tisha would sit there and take it because she has no more friends. Plus, I strongly believe that her and Stormy have an alliance, one. But I also think there's a second thing in play that Stormy is not even realizing. Marceau and Tisha are ready to latch on to Stormy and Courtney to see what they can get. But now that I said it, I think Stormy does realize it, which is why she's being extra disrespectful, because she knows that no matter what she does, Tisha is going to accept it because she knows Tisha is the thirst bucket who wants to be associated with her. Okay, then my other thoughts after Pretty Brown Eyes.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Pretty Brown Eyes.
Hello, Rockabye.
I am sitting here fanning out because all of my faves are on the panel right now. So I'm sitting here in subscriber mode again. So thank you for letting me up, Ebony. I appreciate it.
Of
And
course.
hi, Anonymous, and hello, Virgo Energy. I miss hearing your voice on panels.
Hi, pretty brown
And
eyes. I missed you guys too.
and with that being said, I guess my overview of it all is it just seems like Marceau is doing everything for shock value. And a lot of the stuff that he says to cut everybody down at every turn, I think he's just doing it for shock TV. He's just doing it for a moment, to get everybody distracted from their real business. Because when Mel sat at that table with him in the beginning of the episode and said, "Well, if we're going to throw jabs, I could have thrown a jab about the 5 million lawsuit," and he just kind of shut his mouth because you know the whole time they have been kind of trying to downplay. I think that's what the whole thing was about, to try to downplay Mel's business acumen because she turned them down. So you know how you always say, Anonymous, they have a narcissistic injury because she turned them down on their little Chitlin Circuit Expo.
Yep, I
So
agree.
so I just recently watched the episode when Tisha had to crawl back to Mel with her tail between the legs and basically apologize and try to get her to convince her to participate. And then remember, guys, when she asked Mel at the end, when Mel told her, no, I'm not gonna do it. Tisha was like, well, can you at least just come and take a look at everything and tell everybody why you're not participating? And then Mel just sat there quiet. She said, did you hear me? And Mel was like, no, I didn't hear you. Only for her to sit there now. Fast forward to now when Mel's trying to give her advice that can help her. She's sitting there playing on her phone, being as disrespectful as she possibly could towards Mel, when I heard someone saying that she was recording it because she's not smart enough to dictate it down and make notes because she can't spell. So I don't know if she was just being disrespectful or if she was recording Mel's words for future use so that, when they plan, at least they'll have an idea of how to proceed. It was unorganized. No one knew what they were doing. Marceau saw that the people came because they wanted to come on TV. And this is the last point I'll make before, everyone else talks and we move past this part. Marceau made a point to say that Mel basically wouldn't have been where she was had it not been for the show as far as selling her products. And in that clip that you were talking about, Anonymous, I saw that. Basically, they were all saying that Mel basically let them know that I was a millionaire before 5 years before I even knew you people. And I'm still striving. And Tisha made a comment that it's people with a platform that still aren't doing anything. Girl, you talking real loud because y'all have a platform and they couldn't even raise $100. So it's just very, very telling to me how it seems like I agree with you, Virgo, that there is some sort of alliance that no matter what, they're gonna all side against Mel and put her down no matter what. And the whole meeting and Marceau saying everything was for shock value and to try to diminish her business at taking a quick little jab. Y'all seen how childish he was. He said, I took me a jab at the end. That's all he's really been trying to do towards Mel is take jabs so that he can entice and gaslight her into some type of an argument. So that'll switch the conversation from the failed Expo to now they're arguing with Mel about whether or not her business is legitimate. And that's just my opinion on it so far. I'm muted. I'm muted. I'm done.
Okay, all right. Anonymous, what are some more thoughts that you have about the episode and the show?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm glad you put this picture of Nell and Kimmy. I think what really disturbed me is Kimmy looked like she needed a scene to get money, but the disrespect that she gave to Nell, who in large part has 29 to 30 years of experience in North Huntsville with the successful daycare, and the way that she was so dismissive of her was to me the whole point why I don't like the Snots at all. I can't stand them at all. Um, One, Kimmy was a successful nurse. I'll give her that, right? She retired, okay? But she's an amateur and a neophyte in terms of being an entrepreneur. She said that the last reunion, that it was very difficult for her to do business as an entrepreneur. It takes about 10 to 15, 14 hours a day to really make a successful entrepreneur business. Well, the amazing thing is the woman that knows how to be a successful entrepreneur business in North North Huntsville, Alabama, is the lady that she was disrespecting in her office. It's Nell. And this
Exactly.
is and the thing that's just so sad about it, look at how Melody respects Nell. And Nell is had no problem allowing Melody Cherie to shine with the Love and Marriage Huntsville show. Think about Nell even patroned Black to help the Snots get on their feet because what? It's good for North Huntsville. It's good for more businesses to be there so that crime will go down. You will see productivity. But these people are just, I agree with this one subscriber and panelist who went on another content creators panel, Diva. This is some low vibrational people I've ever seen in my life. They've been elevated by Carlos, and they don't have just simple, basic respect for people who pioneered to give them a leg up. And they just want to turn everybody down when they're jealous and envious of them. I just don't like people like that in business. I don't. What Kimmy don't realize is she, by her doing that. Do you know how many contacts Nell has especially with Chris Fletcher, and she has a mortgage company allegedly or a title company.
And even the parents that drop off the kids at her daycare, no telling what professionals, have kids at her daycare.
Yeah, she just burned the bridge for her business. Just burned it. Just sick. That's why I said I know Carlos wants to elevate his Michigan people, but if he don't get these folks off of here and get some people who actually want to do business, I think Melody has to do something because it will continue to go down because by them attacking Nell and Chris, they are established people in Huntsville, Alabama. And I just don't care for these thoughts at all. I do not.
They're so jealous. They are so jealous. It is ridiculous. And Martell has to feel dumb because he invested so much energy into turning people against Melody, using the Scots to come up against Melody. And they disrespect you, bro, when you're not around, saying that you really didn't do anything when you started Scolt. You really didn't help them at all. It really wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but I was done with my point, but I'll let Virgo go.
1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Okay. Well, I'll continue this standpoint. Is it true that Hotel talked about, what did he say at that expo or that meeting?
When Stormy called Marcel the B word, and Martell said to him, "Well, throw that ass."
That's all he got on his mind: strippers, hoes, and things.
Okay, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
I'm back. I'm
Like,
back. Sorry, I had food in my mouth.
Strip club.
It's all right. Eat well, Virgo.
No, I had food in my mouth. That would have been disgusting. So, can I play devil's advocate when it comes to Kimmy? And we all know I don't like Kimmy.
We know, Virgo. It's okay.
Don't like Kimmy. First things first, before I even get into Kimmy, has anybody noticed that all of a sudden neither Marceau nor Tisha know what anybody does? All of a sudden, Kimmy doesn't know what anybody does either. None of the Scots know what anybody else on this cast other than Stormy does. They don't know that what's it called? Tiffany worked at the Chamber of Commerce and could have been a valuable resource. They don't know what she does. Even though Stormy reminded Tisha that she just raise 3 point something $million. They don't know what Tiffany does. They don't know what the Fletchers do. Even though Marceau used Chris as his alibi for when we saw his back in the hotel in Atlanta. All of a sudden, you don't know what they do. Now, you don't know what they do, but Tisha knows enough about them to ask about infidelity in their marriage. But you don't know what they do. You don't know what Mel does, but you know she does t-shirts and you know she does many businesses, but you still don't know what she does. So all of a sudden, only you are gainfully employed. Everybody else is unemployed. Now, let me move on to Kimmy. I saw it in a whole different way. I didn't think Kimmy was disrespectful. I personally think Nell needs to move on, and I like Miss Nell. But at some point in time, move on. They didn't invite you, move on. They lied, you caught them. Tisha asked you about your marriage. Marceau disrespected you to your face. You felt a ways. You got at Tisha the next day. You got at her, put your foot on her neck, and kept it there. Move on with your life. Kimmy said she was going to invite you. I agree with Kimmy. There was no point in inviting Nell. She had nothing to contribute to that particular meeting because it was a feedback meeting. She didn't attend. She was invited. What would she have gone to say? Oh, you invited me, but you didn't invite me anymore. We've heard. You did not go. There's no point. However, I don't think Kimmy invited Nell to disrespect her. I think Chris and Nell are quite powerful in North Huntsville. And I don't think Kimmy wants to get on her bad side. That's why she had her in the house. Let me tell you to your face, whatever energy you bring, I will accept it. I'm not going to take too much of it though, but I will accept it. And they're almost the same age. So they came together on some grown woman-ish. Nell tried it, Kimmy tried it. They both tried each other. And they both checked each other. I don't think there was a winner. I don't think there was a loser. I don't think anybody was disrespectful. It got catty, but what scene on this show doesn't get catty? I think it was about Kimmy knowing that the Fletchers are really powerful. She's in real estate. They're really powerful in real estate. She does not want to get on their bad side. She knows that Nell doesn't see it for Tisha already. Nell and Chris, neither one of them see it for Marceau right now either. So she doesn't want to be lumped in with the rest of the Scots because she's just starting out in real estate. That's how I see it. I might be wrong, but that's my perspective on it.
That's a good way to look at it, Virgo. I mean, because you said about the critique, I got you.
Yeah, I think it's more, there's nothing altruistic about her inviting Nell over. It wasn't about her being nice. It was basically, I know the Scots are on your ish list. Please don't add me to them. I'm trying to do business in your neck of the woods. You get what I mean? Everything they do is self-serving. It was self-serving at the end of the day because it wasn't really about, okay, I'm trying to be nice. Nah. It was basically, I don't want to be lumped in because I'm trying to do business in your neck of the woods and I don't know what I'm doing, but I might need your help in the future. So I don't want to be, that's how I say it. I went back to mute. I was done.
Okay, PBE, you're up.
Hey, PBE, you there?
It doesn't look like you're muted. Can you hear us? She's still here, and she's not even muted. So maybe she's
in a bad
doing
area.
some business
Well,
at home.
you see Lady K's comment?
Yeah.
That I think I can agree with her trying to do part of, make sure it's not there. But I think also it was like Kimmy to me was trying to say she's the big dog too. It just looked like a power play to me. And that's the part where I was just a little bit shocked that I think Kimmy kind of was showing to me her Baltimore, Maryland type of attitude. I'm still a boss, even though I'm not really a boss in this.
I
And
get
I
what you
just
mean,
thought, yeah.
but
Go
when
ahead.
Kimmy said that thing, when Nell said, "Oh, I've been in business in North Huntsville for 29 years," without Kimmy saying anything, I think Kimmy and I said it together. What does that even mean?
Well,
To
see,
me,
I think that
understand?
means a lot
to
if
me,
you're
it
doing an
means
entrepreneurship
experience.
expo.
It means
Yeah, but
experience, in my
it
opinion.
means
Like she was saying, the 29 years I've been working in entrepreneurship. I've seen lots of things. I know customer service. I know working through a recession. I know when the
I get
economy
it.
is doing well, what that means. So I think Kimmy was playing dumb when she acted like she didn't know what 29 years meant in business.
I
And
get it. But
yeah.
also, I could take. But also, if I was Kimmy, I could take it that we've heard, we know enough.
Well, I get that, but I think the thing is maybe reason why I was thinking she didn't understand the big picture is this. For an expo, you want to have more people attend to learn how to see successful businesses. When her bum on couch husband was on the panel, he said he had a 406 FICA credit score and failed every business he had done. As if I'm attending an expo as an entrepreneur, I want to learn success stories. I don't want to see failures. I want to see people who, get a mixture. You could get both, but Nell would have been a great counter to say, okay, well, I've been in a business for 30 years. But I think that's where you get kind of like the people who have narcissistic behavior. It's an ego thing. They don't want their ego to be hurt. To know that if Nell or Chris was there and they live in a beautiful estate,
I can
they feel
appreciate that.
coward. They feel small in front of
Boom.
them.
I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. I agree with you with that. But the thing is, we're also forgetting something. The actual what's it called event wasn't Kimmy's.
Correct. It's
It
it's
wasn't even
it's
a. It was those two idiots. What she organized was the feedback session, to which Nell had nothing to contribute.
yeah, because she wasn't there at the original one. I got you, Chef.
Exactly. And then that's the reason why Marceau and Tisha keep diminishing and denigrating everybody else's business. That's why they keep doing it. They can't say that to Chris, which is why he said it to Nell. But he saw Chris's reaction to what he said to Nell. He saw the irritation in Chris's face. But Chris respects his wife enough to let her handle that.
Yeah.
And she handled it. And she has not stopped handling it. Everybody's saying Nell is doing too much with Tisha. I don't think so. Tisha
I think,
started it.
well, I think you're right on that, but I think also it might be production trying to get more of people having moments for power plays. You get what I mean? Just to have
Oh
tension or
yeah.
develop lines.
The
So
Scots are always all about power plays. They keep trying to be top dogs. And everybody, I was reading comments on Instagram, and somebody was saying, "Oh, the Scots are the reason for everybody's going after the Scots." And my comment was, "Well, we're all tired of them since the beginning of the show. They have hidden behind the Holts. They've exacerbated. They've aggravated. They've done everything they can to use the Holt storyline as theirs. They want to be top dog. They want the Holt crown. This is what the Holt crown is. Take it. It has a lot of scrutiny. It has a lot of backlash. So that's what you want. It's your crown. Take it. Handle
correct.
that.
Yeah. And that's the thing where I think people are trying to tell her when you have the top crown, you're going to get praise as well as criticism. and you got to be able to take it. But that's the thing where I think the snauts have trouble. They're not understanding that. I think I'll give Stormy this, what she said. If it was just going to be a criticism feedback that limited the opportunity for them to really make the next expo better. Because if you would have had someone like Chris or Nail there, you could have still had, that's the one thing I noticed. Did you notice this Virgo energy and show styles and spirits? You have a meeting, but where's the agenda?
Yeah, they never.
Where is a piece of paper, or more importantly, a PowerPoint to show we're going to talk about these issues and get it?
Well, they never have an itinerary. They never have meeting minutes. None of that.
You don't have a scribe. You get what I mean? Somebody to write the notes, something.
I know that from being involved in so many different groups at church. Like I used to always be the secretary. I would take the meeting minutes. We know what time it is. But Tisha is not even the scribe for Marcel. Now, I do want to point out, because I do hear everyone's perspective, and I know Virgo energy has like a different viewpoint than how I look at Kimmy and Nell. But yes, Tiffany was at that town hall meeting as well. I just think like she just decided to be a little catty towards Nell. And at this point, it's almost embarrassing to keep being like excluded over and over. But I think
Tiffany was at the event.
Tiffany was
at the event.
She was a spectator. She was not a panelist or a vendor, just like Nell.
Correct. So was Mel. Exactly. They were there. That's what I'm saying. Nell and Chris didn't even go at all. They didn't spectate. They didn't participate. They didn't attend. They didn't speak. They just weren't in the building, period. So if you weren't there, what feedback are you giving?
Well, the only thing that's different was Kimmy did say that they were, when the Snauts 1.0, Letitia as well as Marcel, they were going to invite them. They didn't, if you notice what I mean. So again, it was like they were punishing them for even criticizing them on their expo. So that's why I'm saying they're very immature to me. They don't understand how to be an adult, take criticism, but also expand for the next part if you're doing the Black thing. So that's why I just think they really missed an opportunity to have that meeting really showcase that they were trying to do something to make the Black Expo better and bigger the next time. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm with Stormy on this. I'm with Stormy. Why are we even talking about the Black Expo? It's theirs. Why are we even? Why? Because I agree with Stormy. Why was everybody there to help give them feedback on their rubbish? And I also agree with Kimmy to an extent. They took a comeback group idea, initiative, and made it their own and still fumbled it. So if they're going to make it the comeback idea, the comeback group plus friends, that's the Stormy and Courtney, Tiffany and Lou, what's it called? Nell and Chris. Then yes, Nell and Chris, yes, exactly. But to come and give the Scots feedback, nobody has time to waste. They're not listening to anybody. And I don't even know why Nell is pressed. It was a show of an event. It was an issue of a meeting. And because according to Kimmy, every meeting they have, Marceau destroys.
Sure does. Oh my.
And if Tisha was so nasty to Mel, imagine how she would have come for Nell if she had been there.
Okay, Ebony, I think, can y'all hear me now?
Yes, we can, darling. Okay. Go ahead.
Will you finish, Ms. Virgo?
Yes, madam.
Oh, okay. As far as what you guys were talking about Kimmy and Miss Nell, I guess two things can be true at the same time. In my opinion, I think you're all right. Meaning, I think Kimmy was being shady because there was no point in inviting her to another meeting to tell her that she wasn't invited. It just seemed like she wanted to film a scene, and to me, that was very catty and nice, nasty. But on the backside of that, I do think that she thought about the contacts that she could very well lose with Chris Fletcher, Nell's husband, by making her upset and excluding her again. So she's trying to dangle a little small carrot and say, hey, well, I didn't, talking in her baby voice, I didn't want to invite you because you weren't there. You kind of weren't there. She was there. Mel wasn't there, but Mel is one of the six. So in my opinion, I think Kimmy only respects the top six, because really when it initially started, they had some clout, at least so we thought. But now as time progresses, we see that they're all emperors and empresses without any clothes. So that's having it on the top six is the only way that Kimmy and Maurice and Martell and even the 1.0 Scots with their lawsuits and all their drama have any significance, because they're the original six. The only one that actually has, drawing power or anything would have been Stormy, outside of the six, would have been somewhat Stormy. And there's no telling what type of contacts that Tiffany could have brought from the Chamber of Commerce or her affiliation with the different people in those organizations that she's a part of. I mean, she just raised $1 million. So some of those people who contributed, they could have very well packed that house out with local people who have businesses. As far as Marceau, again, he was just really there, in my opinion, for comic relief, because he wasn't interested in anything that anyone was saying. They don't listen to him. You're right, Virgo energy. There's no point. But I think that Kimmy positioned that meeting with them as in a way for them to feel like they would have been included or would have a say in the next expo. It didn't seem like she positioned it like, hey, y'all gonna just come and give these guys a critique, because why would they come? Tisha already said she doesn't want feedback. So that's kind of how I feel about the Kimmy and the Nell part of it.
I love how you do that. I love how you do that, Pretty Brown Eyes. You always find two opposing views.
Correct.
And you tie them together so eloquently, and you make them make sense. I love how you do that.
That is the rockabye analysis of engineering.
Exactly. But can we all stop? I'm sick and tired of people giving Martell props and saying, oh, he was writing for Mel. No, he wasn't writing for Mel. Did you notice he kept saying the Holtz, the Holtz, the Holtz? He's keep trying to tie himself to Mel. 1. 2, everybody seems to have forgotten that while they were filming this, they were still in court for the custody hearing. He wasn't looking out for Mel. He was looking out for the coin he thought he was going to get when he got child support.
That part, like she was still underneath him. But if you notice that, Virgo, I don't know if you noticed this in PBE and show styles as well. When he had an opportunity to talk about what he did you notice he didn't say anything about him doing business with Holt & Holt and the other 9 businesses that he had? He referred back, Martell or Hotel. He referred back to him cutting grass for $130,000.
Yes, he did go all the way back there.
Yeah, but there was a point to that. No, but there was a point to that. That was the beginning of what they grew. And that's what he was trying to. You guys cannot have me here defending Martell. That's not okay.
I don't know why you did. I was just saying he's really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because I was like, why is it that part?
That's not cool.
He was
That's so
trying
cool.
because
Well, him defending.
Marceau was trying to be judgmental and say like some businesses aren't as significant. And Martell was saying, well, if you're going to say that, that's like saying me cutting grass and getting up to 6 figures a year wasn't anything important.
I know, but I'm just saying this is the reason why I'll say this point, and I know PBE is going to do the analysis to merge it.
Exactly. That's her specialty.
Exactly. He was a partner with Melody. It wasn't like, even though Melody was doing the work, she gave him credit. You get what I mean? So he could have stated, as a partner, we did it. But did you notice he never wanted to give her credit? He only wanted to go with what he had done. That's why I agree with your point, Virgo. He had to remember what he did. He didn't do anything with the businesses. Yes. So everybody's thinking that Hotel was helping with the businesses. It's not true. It was Melody. It was Melody.
Yes, but
well, guys, I won't merge it this time. I won't merge it this time.
But that's your superpower.
But no. Martell was looking out for Martell. But
thank you.
Because he was trying to tie himself to Mel's current success. Boom. By bringing up that old crap that he did. If you guys remember back, I don't know what season it was, but when him and Mel were first arguing and he argued with her, or he was arguing when he told her he retired her from being you was a dang gone school teacher. Remember that? That's what he was doing, cutting the grass. But Mel organized him and put it in the business and made it a part of the property preservation and helped him get that big contract. So it wasn't anything he did on his own, even cutting the grass. Remember, she told him, you only was cutting your uncle and 2 other people's grass, sir, so cut it out. She made him.
But that's the only thing he's ever done.
Right.
But that's the only thing he's ever done.
Right.
That's the only thing he's ever done on his own, cut somebody's grass.
Yeah, I would never defend him. I'll never merge him.
That's right. Well, why would he go back to cutting grasses? Shoot, that's good money right there.
I agree.
Mel got him a contract. They got some nice governmental contracts based off of her being the business owner. That's why she was able to speak to what Marceau and even Bum on Couch and Kimmy did. Because Kimmy, remember when they came to the head of the table, guys, in the beginning when they couldn't do the 47 acres and a mule deal, was because those two didn't have any type of credit. 1.0 had just filed bankruptcy, and the 2.0 had the 406 credit score. All of the businesses that they were bringing to the table, the women were the head of those companies. And it didn't make sense on paper. So she was, the women have always been the head of those companies, and Mel was the head of her company even when he was cutting the grass to get that 6-figure contract, because she used her business acumen, obviously, and she sat out, and her mom put themselves in position to gain those contracts for being the women-owned business.
Correct. And that's
how it got to the 6 figures. It wasn't because he was cutting some nice grass, because he even said recently that he doesn't even want to get back in the field. Remember when she asked him, well, were you going to go back out in the field since you can't get your builder's license? Are you going to go back out in the field, basically go back, cut grass and clean out these hauses? He said no.
Of course.
Now we're here.
Is it possible?
Get him out the house.
Is it possible for us to get rid of Maurice and Tisha?
Yes, we can. We can just have them get locked up and sing, allegedly. That's about to happen, in my opinion.
Because for me, Marceau is annoying. He's disrespectful. He's gross. He's really irritating, but he brings something to the show. We don't have to like it, but he does bring something to the show. Kimmy, with all her annoying, in Lady K's words, nice, nasty disposition, all that rubbish, she is the resident boat carrier, and sometimes she's also the voice of reason. She brings something to the show, but Maurice and Tisha bring nothing. Tisha has a nasty disposition. She's always frowning or in her feelings or sulking about something. She brings nothing. She has nothing. She is nothing. Maurice, I don't see the point. He's just a waste of oxygen. I don't see the point of his existence as a human being, period.
I
Talk
love
less of on
Virgo.
this show. Talk less of on this show. So I don't understand why they're here. So if we can get rid of both of them, I think the show would be good. Bring in Nell and Chris to come in and replace both of them. It's still love and marriage, but we don't have. We can see Tisha at home, maybe once in a while, maybe twice every season. We can see Maurice on the couch where he resides, works, and does everything twice as well.
Oh, you don't want to hear about the relations, Virgo energy, every 5 minutes?
If I hear one more time about Maurice's
libido,
I don't care. I don't even know what word to call it, whatever it is. If I hear one more time, I will throw my TV and I will break it.
I don't think it's
no
a
longer
real
can.
libido. I don't think he has the stamina like that. I think he just wants to be portrayed that way on TV. I think he's like 2 strokes and he's done.
Yes, did you see him walk in? He looked like a Pillsbury Doughboy walking in, even in the suit. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
But you should see him dancing. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I don't think he works out. I don't think he takes good care of himself. I think as soon as he and Kimmy come together, he's done. Like
no, if you see him dance on the boat, he is very, very awkward and offbeat. So I'm pretty sure he's a 2-pump chump, and he's definitely trying to emphasize on that to distract us from the fact that he works with Tommy off of Martin. And and Kimmy is the manager, because neither one of them got no job.
That's right.
Did you guys watch Girlfriends?
Go ahead, Virgo.
Did you guys watch Girlfriends?
Yes. I have watched Girlfriends, yes.
Do you remember Sean?
I'm trying to figure out Sean. Who was he married to somebody?
Sean was Joan's boyfriend, the ex-addict.
Yeah, the ex-sex addict?
Yeah. Remember when they first started dating and they had sex the first time and she complained how terrible it was? But he had slept with so many women and it was talking about, he slept with so many women. But Joan said how terrible it was with him. And then she had to teach him how to have X. I think that's the problem with Maurice. I think because he's always talking about how much X he needs, how often and everything he needs. But I think he's terrible, which is why Kimmy can't even pretend. I think normally when she's herself, she can pretend, but now she can't. She doesn't have the energy to pretend. Yeah. So for him, so that's it. But the thing is, Kimmy is such a pick-me that she wouldn't even have the audacity to tell him that you suck. Literally, you suck. You don't do this for me. I pretend normally, but I can't do it now. I'm too weak. I'm too tired. My brain isn't in it. So because she's such a pick-me, she's blaming everything except telling him the truth. She's blaming the meds, which is possible. She's blaming her illness, which I think is true. But I also think fundamentally, because let's not lie, we're women. I don't care how sick we are. If we really like the guy and he really does it for us, we will muster it up. We might do it and then lie down and cry that, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. I'm weak. I shouldn't have done that, but we will do it because the guy just does it for us. There's no way on God's green earth he does it for her, and she can't. She just can't. That's not possible.
Well, you know what, Virgo energy, if I may, most of the time, X with a narc is very disgusting anyway, because they're all about them. They're not there to please you. They're there to get whatever they need from you. So I'm pretty sure that it is horrible to be with him. I mean, just looking at him and looking at his brother, I don't see how any of them can do it. And then for the other wife to say, hey, I have to schedule to have X with my husband. I don't believe that either, because whenever you see them, those two always look like they're coming from two different places. They don't never come. He's never very affectionate or anything. He doesn't. He looks at her like her. She makes her skin crawl. And Kimmy did tell him on the ride in the car that she just basically doing it for him, and that she's not getting anything out of it, and that she's sick. She told him that in the beginning of this season in the car ride. She told him basically she was faking it for him.
I would be too.
And
Look
she
at him.
she crushed his poor little ego.
Yeah, that's why I used Sean from Girlfriends as an example, because they are the same thing. Because like a lot of men, a lot of children, real men don't think that. A lot of children, young boys, they think that how often equates to expertise. And that's his problem as well.
I think STDs, when I say how often, that's just too much for me. I just, especially the way they do it. Okay, really.
And it's really bizarre that they would even make that a storyline. Why would your mind even go there? Like, we're going to talk about our S lives on the show.
That's Carlos. Just like Black is their storyline. Oh,
I don't think that's Carlos. I'm sorry.
I think
the
that's
reason
them.
why I think that's them.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's not forget the first part of the season, they tried to make Kiowa and Maurice Jr. their storyline.
Yeah.
I think when Kiowa came and saw how miserable her son was, I think she put a stop to that. That no more. You will no longer use my son as a storyline. They have nothing else going on.
Exactly.
That's the truth. They have nothing else going on. There's nothing else going on in their lives. Kimmy, we can tolerate. But unfortunately, she's a package deal with her husband. And since they have nothing else going on, they're just clawing at anything. And now that they've done it so much that they went as far as, well, when everybody went after Maurice, when he even went to Fox Soul to try and redeem himself, and he made it worse. So I think there's nothing, if they had anything else, especially after all the outrage that followed his interview with Carlos, if they had anything else to talk about, they would have. They don't, which is why Kimmy is back to her bone carrying and so invested in a town hall for Tisha and Marceau, because it's like, you've talked about it at the baby shower. Why are we having another town hall?
They should be demoted. I think Kimmy and Maurice should just.
They should become friends.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think Maurice should become a friend of. Kimmy can stay. I think because Kimmy is carrying both of them on her back. Kimmy is sitting on national television, allowing herself to be humiliated by her so-called husband, all for a storyline. So I think she's put in the work. So I think Kimmy should stay. I think Marceau should stay. I think Tisha needs to be demoted to friend of or spouse of. I think Maurice needs to be demoted to spouse of. And Stormy and Courtney, one more season. If they come at us with the whole Mama Betty nonsense, or the whole I hate Mel BS, or the whole Junior didn't stick labels properly trash, they can go as well. Because none of their storylines make sense to me. Not one.
Hard.
And I'm sorry to say, the whole Marceau versus Stormy, I'm over it.
Well, you know,
and if I hear one more person tell me that Stormy was disrespectful to Marceau, even though I think she was, I believe she has been. But Tisha loves it. Tisha likes it. I love it. But for me, the same people saying that Stormy was disrespectful to Marceau by calling him a B in front of his wife, they said nothing about him telling Tiffany that she was not valued at home.
Exactly. That was terrible. And he called Tiffany a Karen without her husband being present. I mean, you know what? I get calling someone a B is disrespectful, but it is Marceau. I'm gonna be 100. To me, it was warranted. He had to
Where's the
get.
lie?
Yeah. Where's the lie?
Her
It wasn't
Macronite
warranted to
Chronicles.
me. It wasn't warranted to me, but no lies were detected, so I can't even say anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It wasn't warranted, but there were no lies detected. The truth is bitter, but it is the truth. You can say whatever you like, but the truth is the truth. And he is a B. He
Yeah.
acts like a B. And he
Hey,
doesn't respect himself. So
That's why I
whatever.
feel like it was warranted because he does act
Okay.
like a B.
I have a question for you guys. Do y'all
Mhm.
think that the reason they're taking the shots at Tiffany and the shots at Nell and Chris Fletcher is because they feel like they would replace them?
Yes.
That's why, that's why I'm thinking that even Kimmy with her little nice nasty shade inviting her to tell her she didn't invite her again. I think that that's what they were trying to do. They're looking like these people really have money, because if you kind of follow the show off the show where it's really going down, Chris Fletcher showed up to Black one week with his Lamborghini, and
Mm,
then next thing you know, here come Maurice with the Lamborghini, and he
yeah.
made up a story saying, "Oh, some little four little guys were outside of my car admiring it, but you conveniently didn't take a picture of the four little boys that were looking at your car that's located outside of an industrial park area. There would be no kids nowhere near your car." So that was a lie. If you just wanted to show your car, show your car. But they just all come off as so envious and jealous of
Hmm.
everything and everybody that they're willing to literally go broke to pretend that they're rich or
Aren't
that
they
they have the
broke?
money.
Aren't they broke anyway, PBE?
Well, they are. I mean, to go broke, if it's a word, broker, because when they get paid for the season, they were just this past weekend riding around in a rented Rolls Royce, and Chris Fletcher had a Lamborghini and all of that, and they were in California, riding around. And I'm just like, why y'all don't just get on Spirit Airlines and go back to Alabama and
Get
take
to
care of
work.
y'all business instead of sitting up here fronting like y'all are like y'all have money.
Yep.
I don't get that part though. The whole obsession with making us think that they have money when we all know you don't.
It's a
It's
flossing. It's a narc
oh,
thing. Virgo energy. It's hotel
who
does the same thing.
flosses who flosses at this age?
Baby, these narcs do. It might be an American thing. I don't know. I'm just like, I've
I think it's a
seen.
weirdo thing,
It
personally.
is. It is because I've seen people who have. And what's so sad is these people. If you look allegedly, if you look at their background reports, hotel has liens, tax liens. Carlos has tax liens, as well as Marceau and Maurice have tax liens. So that's the reason why they have to have, in my opinion, um, the women buy their things, because if they, let's just say if they opened up a bank account, the IRS, whatever state department that they haven't paid their lien with, will garnish it. So they have, so it has to front. And I don't know if you remember Kung Fu Panda when they were at Black. She was trying to say, "Look at these Lamborghinis." It's called a Lamborghini. What she call it? A
Linguini,
Lamborghini. The
no telling.
Lamborghini. Yeah, she was just trying to say, look, if you look at what we're driving, that means we own it. No, they don't own it. Like you said, they're leasing. They don't own anything. They're leasing that Rolls Royce. Or I think Love and Marriage Huntsville probably paid for it to make it look like they were doing something
I
because it was
doubt
her
that.
birthday.
I
Um,
doubt that.
yeah,
You can rent luxury cars just like how the rappers rent
No,
them for videos and stuff.
no,
that's true.
I meant I doubt that Love and Marriage Huntsville paid for it. I think like every reality show you get a black Jeep to pick you up. If you don't like it, rent
Yep.
your own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they did.
yeah, but they wanted to make it look like to us that they are on Chris and Nell's level.
And
Because
they're
I
not.
think that was the Fletcher's yacht that they were renting. They rented it. They didn't, they just happened to be on there. They
And
don't
go
have it.
back to something that y'all were saying before, and it looks like Ebony has the picture of Tiffy Lou to segue to that part. But Mel does respect Nell and Chris Fletcher. She says all the time how they are mentors to her. And Nell allows Mel to shine, and because it's like a proud mama, like, look at my baby doing so good. She's proud of her. And I don't feel that she's jealous. Sometimes messy with carrying bones, because I guess production gets in her ear. But overall, I think that Miss Nell does value Mel and appreciate and knows exactly what she brings to the table.
Correct.
So I just wanted to I forgot
I'm
to say that
sorry.
at first too. That's all.
I'm sorry. I'm already side-eyeing now.
Well,
Well,
Ned,
I was
I'll tell you
side-eyeing her
this.
now about the drama part. I mean, just for Mel's
Nah.
business acumen and the respect level as far as
Yeah.
the
I'm
business part
sorry.
of it. But the
I
other
think
part,
Mel.
no ma'am. She's very
I was
I'm
gonna
mentally.
sorry.
say this, Virgo, before
I'm
you go real
sorry.
quick to help it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, like, I don't know if you know, Nell not only is a business owner, but she's also a deaconess at her church. And if you've ever been in the church community, I mean, I've been raised as a PK, it's all about conformity. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you don't want to rock the boat, but you will defend yourself if somebody's, disrespecting you and doing that. But you try to do reconciliation just to keep everything moving on because there's a bigger picture to it. But I don't know if you remember that episode, the last episode. Remember how Melody and Nell met at Nell's daycare? And she
Yeah.
talked about how she's just going to be cordial. I don't know if you remember that scene where Nell was telling about Tisha. She said, when it comes to Marceau and Tisha, she's just going to be cordial.
Uh-huh.
It's like even Melody. She said, "What are we? We're frenemies," and she just smiled. She told the truth. I'm not doing business with people. This is just production. We're on a job for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We have to appear like we get along. But after that, man, I don't deal with these people. I just don't.
Sorry. I'm with you, Liz Castleberry. You and I, we see each other. I'm with you. Liz Castleberry said, I'm side-eyeing Nell too, waiting for her to turn on Mel. Let me give you guys advance notice. The second Nell opens her mouth to ask Melody whether she cheated on Martel, no this, no peace. I'm coming here and I'm dragging her and her dusty ass, moppy ass wigs. No that, no peace.
I did a whole little comparison with Nell and Mel's background. I'm with you on that. I was just only
I
speaking
agree.
about the good part. No, I'm corner eyeing all of it because from the beginning, when they sat on the back porch, Martell never brought up infidelity of Melody. When she threw he always was saying that coleslaw satisfied him. He never said Mel cheated. I think that was something that was put in his ear from none other than the storyline guru, Mr. King,
Yeah.
in a way
No,
to
that was
diminish
all Martel.
Mel
That
from
was all
the
Martel.
beginning. And
That was
that's
all
why I said
Martel.
she's gonna let production kind of rope her into the nail, against Mel to make Mel look bad because see, since she's her close friend, if Nell says it, people might believe it because they're like, dang, that is her friend. That is one of the people who she said was her good friend and mentor. So if she says something, it'll have more legs than say Marceau saying something.
For
I'm on
And
the
me,
she's
fence
definitely
when
I
it
gonna get
comes
drugged.
to
She's
Nell.
definitely gonna get it. She's gonna get it.
I'm on the
I
fence
don't
when it comes to Nell because sometimes I feel like both ways. I'm like, well, she seems to adore Melody. I know Melody adores her. I can feel it. But, her partying like with Tisha and Marceau this weekend, I'm just
boom.
like, oh my gosh, they're on a boat. and they're singing and dancing to Michael Jackson and Freddie Jackson. I just don't know what to think about it. But a lot of people are confident that the Fletchers are just being neutral and they're not going to turn on Melody. But, I feel like only time will tell when it comes to Nell.
I'm confident that Chris won't turn on Melody. I lack confidence that Nell won't turn on Melody. Why did I say this? Because Nell, whether she realizes it or not, her thirst to be on this show is Sahara Sahara Desert levels. She's so thirsty to be on the show. In all honesty, it's because she's coming for Tisha that we're amused. She's doing too much. Let's be realistic. She's doing too much. She's doing way too much. It's just because we don't like Tisha and we believe that Tisha deserves it for asking her about her marriage. That's the only reason why we're not calling out Nell for being messy. Nell is being messy. Let's be honest.
Very
And
much so.
when you're being this messy, you get comfortable in your mess. So she's going to be because if she wasn't being messy, why would you even Mel and Martell have been divorced for 3 years? Why do you keep talking about the cheating? And what gives you
Yeah.
the audacity to go and ask her in front of everybody, oh, Martell said I'm always siding with you. Did you cheat on Martell? How dare you?
Agreed. Now, I
So
agree on that.
So for me, that shows me how far she's willing to go to be messy. And let's not forget, this is how Stormy started as well. It was let's hang out on off the show. Let's hang out. Let me get to know you. And then all of a sudden, she had a problem with Mel. So I see Mel going the same direction because they're going to let her know that look, if you want to get followers, if you want to get this, if you want to get that, you have to be anti-Mel. So I see that coming in the future. She might not stay anti-Mel for long because she'll give herself sense because she's older and should have more sense, but she will try it. And that simple sentence that she's asking Mel on camera, for me, I would cuss her out for old and new. How dare you? I don't
Agreed.
care how old you are, but so for me, I can't really write for Nell. I'm not really seeing it for her. And to be very honest, she's already tiptoeing on my last nerves. If I hear her complain one more time about not being invited to anything, I will punch her through the TV. You were not invited. Get over it. You're not 5. Move on with your life.
I told
Now, I
you
will
Virgo
say this.
energy.
Oh, hold on, real quick, Anonymous. Now, I will say when Nell told Melody about the Scots talking about saying she just sells T-shirts, Melody did say to her, "I'm glad you told me, Nell, so I can go back and have a conversation with Marceau." So sometimes the messiness, it does come with a purpose.
Correct. And that's the thing where, we're hoping Nell, and this is where I mean, hopefully, if she is a critical thinker, I'd be side eyeing these snots for this reason. The fact that they didn't invite her, she has to remember they view her as nothing. I Anybody that views me as nothing when I've earned my walk at North Huntsville, I patroned your business, and they willing to do that on TV, I don't really have any respect for them. So this whole
Yeah.
thing that she did on the yacht and them trying to look like they're all cordial and being friends, I just couldn't do it. I'll be like Melody. I'm ready to leave. I would pack my bags after that reunion. I wouldn't spend no time with these fake folks because they're fake. I mean, I'll tell y'all this. When I saw that episode, I thought I needed to wash myself 3-5 times after looking at those snots. I was just disgusted. I said, this is nasty. They just are nasty people. They just have no sense of business whatsoever.
Yeah, they're very mean. And whenever there is some sort of temporary challenge a person faces, they hold it against them. Like when Marceau had to say, well, your businesses, your longtime businesses, you had to file bankruptcy. But keep it real. You know why Melody filed bankruptcy. She was getting a divorce. Like he's so nasty. He doesn't even fight fair. I'm over them too, but they got Carlos King wrapped around their fingers. Like they're
I
never
don't
gonna
think
get
so.
away.
I
Well,
don't think so
well,
anymore. I
well.
think
I think
the
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think Carlos's what's it called? Infatuation with them is over. Because let's be real, they're getting a really, really, really not so nice edit this year. And it's not just the second season. The edit hasn't been good all year. Nobody's edit has been good this year. I think this is the first time, other than season one, that there has been no agenda in the editing. There has been no story being told. There has been nobody's pointing us in any direction. You
He
know how
still
every
favors them because it's
I don't
not
think so.
like we're not getting an in-depth look at the lawsuit on the show. All they had was that one scene where he was renovating their home and Tisha went over and said, "Oh, what did you do today?" And he said, "Oh," she said, "You went to court." And he said, "Oh, I had a deposition." That was it. And then they went to talking about their so-called personal spending budgets and their furniture budget for their renovated house. They're just doing that because we're complaining that they never share their true state of their businesses on the show. So they're giving a very small snippet just to pacify us. But Carlos still
Okay.
favors the Scots.
I think I see it as you can't really force them to talk about what they don't want to talk about. Do you understand? And like, yes, I agree, Miss Anne. They're not going to talk about an ongoing lawsuit on camera. That's stupid. Nobody would do that. Nobody on God's green earth would do that.
Drew did
Every
on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She
Well,
talked about the
are you
lawsuit.
joking? You're talking about a 1,000 stupid
But she did. But my point is
but
she did. That's
but she didn't.
reality.
But she didn't. But she didn't.
She talked about it more than the Scots did. They
As
they
that
only
what
had to they only had to do that one little scene to pacify the viewers, and then that's it. And I don't think that that's stupid. I think that is whatever the parameters are that you can talk about it. I think that that's reality TV. That's what they're getting paid the money to do. Like from
I
a
get what you're
producer
saying.
standpoint, I think that I don't think that that's stupid.
I get what you're
well,
saying, but this is what I'm saying. As that when RHOH aired, Drew Cilia's lawsuit was done. Because Drew Cilia's lawsuit was self-induced. She could have paid the $1,000 and moved on with her life. If you go back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, during Jen Shah's thing, Jen Shah never really spoke about the case. She proclaimed her innocence, but she never really spoke about the case. Erica Jane on Beverly Hills didn't speak about the case. She proclaimed her innocence, but she didn't speak about the case. Same thing with Dorit. They don't speak about the case because what happens is the people you're working with, the people that are suing you're suing, they will use what you say on camera against you in court. Their case is still ongoing. Their case isn't over. Drew's was over as at the time that the show aired. Drew's was over. Drew's was over before they stopped filming.
well, Drew
Do you
kind of
understand
used
what I'm
hers
saying?
for a storyline, Virgo.
Yeah, but
He
it was a
used
one
hers as a
thousand dollar
storyline.
loss. It was Drew represented herself. Was that really a
Yeah,
lawsuit?
no, but she used it for a storyline, and Sharadam threw it up in her face to bring it up.
Act, Actually,
And
Sheree brought it up. Actually, Sheree
yeah,
brought it up.
yeah,
Drew
Sheree
didn't
brought it
use
up.
it. Sheree brought it up.
Well,
We watch
that's
too much reality TV.
well. I think the Scots are. I think the Scots have time has ran out, and they can't keep hiding behind Mel and Martell or Kiki for that matter. Um, as far as the lawsuit, whether they can discuss it or not, it was never even mentioned. Like no one even knew it was going on.
Yeah.
So regardless,
Yeah,
Melody put that out in the atmosphere because, in my opinion, these frauds use this show as a means to get suckers because people feel like because they see these people on TV that they have money and that they have legitimate businesses. So when they see them on TV in black or propped up at a construction site that really isn't really a construction site according to the documents, it's just somewhere where they've hung their advertising for their business. People don't know that because you're just watching and you think they're actually doing stuff. So I think going forward, with the mention of the $5 million lawsuit on the show by Mel and others, I think people will think pretty hard before they do business with them. Also, as far as Nell, I'm going to reserve uh, my all the way shady opinion on her until we see how that conversation plays out, because we know that Edit will put stuff out there so that we can start feeling a way about a person or a situation, and then when it comes time for the show, they don't even it wasn't even like that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to reserve my complete negative opinion about Miss Nell on the messy side until after I see how this plays out. But I agree with you again, Virgo. This I'll tie it together because Nell is thirsty to be on the show, and I do believe that production or somebody is in her ear to get, to bring that up, to kind of say something to Mel. But I don't believe that she honestly feels that way, and I believe that she knows the answer. So as a true friend, production couldn't ask me to ask my friend that on camera,
Exactly.
because I already know the situation. Like when they were on the back porch and she threw that cup at him, he wasn't complaining about her cheating. He was complaining. Well, he wasn't even complaining. He was trying to throw up in her face how much coleslaw satisfied him. So, in every other conversation that they've had since season one, I did a breakdown. The infidelity never came up. Martell even pulled up on her when they were divorced and said he'd never seen her with somebody else. Remember when he went to the restaurant and filmed her on a date? He said that when she pulled up on him, he said that she asked him, "Well, Martell, we're not together anymore. Why are you following me?" He's like, "Because I can, and because I never seen you with anybody before." So you go from never
I
seeing
remember
her
that.
with anybody before to now you're saying you cheated on me, and you cheated on me first. Make it make sense.
Yes.
We are critical thinkers. So Miss Nell, if Miss Nell does this, she's gonna be scarred. I'm just saying. She's definitely. I'm gonna be with you, dragging her, but
I
I'm gonna reserve it till after I see the context of that scene
of
with
the
them.
conversation.
Yes, ma'am. I gotta
Okay, I'm
see
still drag.
how
I
it
don't.
comes up. I
I
gotta see how it comes up.
Oh, I don't care how it comes up. I'm dragging her off the stage. I'm just giving everybody advance notice. I don't care how it comes up. The second those words leave her mouth, I'm waiting for Ebony to go live.
That's right, baby.
Her straight up. So on that
Yeah.
day, Ebony, please go live quickly. So my anger will still be, just go live quickly so my anger will still be rife and I can go in on her. I don't care what the context is.
Y'all.
I don't care what the context is. I don't care. I know those words are leaving her mouth. I just want to hear her say them, and then I'm going in. I don't care whether she says it nicely. I don't care whether she was punched in the face. I don't care whether there was a pow put to her head. I'm dragging. Her dragging is inevitable. That's standard.
See, Nell is
You don't.
polarizing because so many people are saying, like, Mel and Nell are solid. I'm not
Good
100%
for them.
convinced because I'm like, time will tell. I have to see when it comes to Nell because I just get this uneasy feeling. I'm like, I don't know. So I just have to see.
Well, I think I was going to say this.
I'm not dragging Nell for Mel. Oh, sorry. I don't care if Nell and Mel live together. I don't care if they travel together. I'm dragging
It's just
Mel.
a statement you're saying, Virgo. That statement shouldn't come out your mouth.
It's just the principle for me. I don't care whether her and Nell are wearing matching pajamas right now, braiding each other's hair. That's Mel's business. I'm not dragging her for Mel. I'm dragging her for me. Please continue. Sorry.
Well, I'll come back over here and wait for you to drag.
It will be an epic read, y'all.
But yeah,
Epic.
there's no reason for her to ask Mel anything regarding cheating because she knows that Melody did not cheat on that man, and she knows what that man put her through. And again, I agree with you, Virgo. It's been 3 years and they've been separated for 4. This man got another baby and a string of 304s from Atlanta to wherever. Why y'all asking this lady this mess on TV? Leave her alone and quit asking her about broke tail. Just they need to just let it go. It just seemed like they
Exactly.
just keep trying to tie her to him. He tried to
Boom.
tie himself back to her by saying what Mel and them did. Sir, y'all are divorced and it's over.
That's right. He needs a
Let it
storyline.
He needs to let it go. And Carlos needs to let go of the idea of Mel and Martell. It's over. The Scots can't replace them. 1.0 or 2.0. Tiff and Lou are a snooze fest. She begged for that baby. Now you got it. Watch it and leave us alone about it. We didn't bring it up, but you did show the slide of it, Ebony. Tiffany seemed like she just really tried to gaslight us into being mad at Lou about her having to watch her baby.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
she did. I think she's trying to make it seem like he's not there for that baby, and she's like, look, he told her that he didn't want a baby. But you wanted the baby because, in my opinion, she wanted that 18-year college plan so she can have her check. Because I don't really.
Oh
Child, why you get
no,
dropped, PBE? You think
yeah,
you
okay.
think she got knocked up to get some money?
You right, I know.
Well, she ain't knocked up because she's married, so she got pregnant to make sure she gets that
I don't
Alabama
think so.
A&M income coming in on a continual basis for 18 years, allegedly.
Tiffany has her own money. I don't think that's it. I think Tiffany was feeling insecure
Yeah.
in her marriage, and she felt that that was the only thing missing. And I do agree to an extent. I also feel sorry for her because it's obvious she's going through postpartum and she's feeling lonely. But Tiffany makes it hard to write for her because in that scene, she was being obviously obnoxiously manipulative and gaslighting that man. And it was like, this is
Yes,
not
she
right.
was. I
It
agree
was a
with
narc
you.
behavior.
It was horrible.
It was.
I
I
get it.
agree.
I get it. You want him to be with you more. I get it. But you also have to remember he told you this would happen. You can't have your cake and eat it. You wanted the baby to solidify your union. You have your baby now. And as sorry as I feel for her for being a woman of a particular age with a newborn, postpartum, all on her own, everything working, I get it. But at the same time, you can't manipulate somebody into staying at home. I think at a point in time, she was making majority of the money and
Mm,
Lou was staying at home more. I
okay.
think she thought that was what was going to, because Lou said it, that there was a time I was at home and you were at work. So I think in her head, she was going to have the baby and the baby would keep Lou at home. I don't think she anticipated him getting the job that he got. And now it's not what she planned. So she's
Mm,
losing control and she's manipulating and gaslighting him. She was throwing everything at him. Mentioning his
yes.
dad irritated my soul.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
Mention
mine
horrible?
too.
that was horrible.
Yeah, I
Mentioning
fell
his
down though.
dad talking about, oh, I'm sorry. You
No,
okay?
go ahead, Virgo. Go ahead. I was just letting y'all know I was back. I hit a
Oh,
button, the
okay.
wrong button. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So I thought you meant you literally fell down.
No.
So that's why I said okay. Sorry. No, so as in, that was horrible for me. And then uh, Tiffany just makes it hard.
She
As much
does.
as she makes it hard, she really, 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 really makes it hard to write for her. Even though a lot of times she's right. And I also feel like on this show,
Mhm.
because a lot of people don't like her, she has become the whipping boy for
Yeah.
Marceau, for Tisha, for Kimmy, for everybody. But then she also says dumb, dumb trash like, "Oh, if I invite Kiki to my party, I hope things won't go missing." Just when you want to ride for her, she says slick-ish like that. That is like, yeah, you deserve whatever you get. Get out of here.
Yeah, when she brought up his dad, you could tell Lou didn't like that at all. That bothered him. But go ahead, PPE. Finish your point. Go ahead.
Well, Dr. Francis told her that this would happen. And she had already knew that having this baby was not going to fix whatever issues that she has within herself. She completely was acting like a Karen, but to me in this scene, and it just really pissed me off, only because it's like, girl, you got one of the best men on the show and you sitting up here talking to him like he's a deadbeat dad and don't do nothing. I think she thought she was gonna have that baby and be able to just leave him with the baby and run off and just do whatever it was that she wanted to do, and then he was going to be stuck with her because of the baby. That was an insurance policy that she just had. But she for real, that's an insurance policy. Because now, they I don't know. I don't know. I think Lou will leave her because he seemed so annoyed with her, and she just kept kept poking. And he was like, well, spending more time is a lot different than spending no time at all. And she was trying to gaslight us to not like Lou, making it seem like he wasn't there for her and that baby since she had the baby. And I didn't appreciate that.
Well, I think the thing that she didn't understand is they filmed this in the spring, and if he's just starting to be a baseball coach, they're going to really be demanding because he's trying to prove himself.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by, Virgo energy, and PBE said it right. She doesn't have empathy. She doesn't understand that everything that's centered around you is not you. And this is why she probably needs to talk to a therapist like a Dr. Francis, even though she doesn't like him, just to talk her issues out. And because he's probably under pressure right now because he is a baseball coach, assistant baseball coach of his alma mater. And with any new job, it's more money, but there's a lot of time, especially if they happen to have a very good program. And I think that's what it was. So he might have been only really able to do this scene here because he got a break. He hadn't really been filming that much, but it's just the job. That's just what it takes.
Yeah, that's baseball season. They're like from April to October. I mean, what was she thinking? And the baby was born around that time too. I remember that was like early spring when she had Ace. And it's funny how things work out because I think PBE is spot on. She was expecting to be able to run around like she want to and Big Lou keep the baby. But look how things work out. He got a new job with a university, and now he's gone. She has to take care of that baby.
Yeah, but I think another thing, even though she was gaslighting him, I appreciate that Big Lou. You see how he handled it in a way that was just listening to her and not trying to condemn her for venting. She was just venting. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this scene happened right after Marceau did the gaslighting, attacking her in front of everybody at the park, at that table. Like, I think this is probably why she's scared. This is the part that I think Big Lou needs to be careful with. When you hang around cheaters like Hotel, Marceau, and Bum on Couch, any woman intuition is you think you're going to be cheating like them. So I do appreciate, I believe Big Lou, he just listened to her. You get what I mean? And then he just said, I'll try to take more time and just handle it that way versus to try to make a scene. But that was fine.
But why was she asking if he was gonna cheat on her? Like I
think that's why she had the baby. I think that's why she had the baby. I think she's been insecure. I think she's been insecure for a while. And then I thought of something now. I don't know why. Yes, Tiffany has always been messy, but the level of messiness this season has been off the charts. And I think she's overcompensating because Big Lou is not around. And she's technically only not, she's the only one that doesn't have a husband around. Do you understand? This
Correct.
Isn't like Housewives where they have some single women. So I think to make her and Lou still relevant, she was doing team too much to stay relevant and doing all the rubbish she was doing. I do feel sorry for her, but she makes it hard for real.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they can work through that. And that's why I don't want to get too hard, because some people have, people don't realize jobs take, you only have 24 hours in a day. So if he's preparing, and let's say Alabama A&M's baseball team is doing real well, that's going to be extra pressure. It's learning the job. But, where is her family? I think her mother was there at the baby reveal. Was it her mother?
Yeah, that was her mom. She was there. Her parents.
Yeah, she just needs, I think, a little bit more family time. I don't know. I think she said she couldn't exercise, but I don't know if she can walk. It might not be if she could just walk as an exercise. That might help her lose the weight, just to still lose it. But it's just, you just have to have some compassion sometimes. But I just think this episode, she totally was gaslighting, but I appreciate how Lou just listened to her, because that's what she was doing. She was venting. She just felt lonely, and and it is true. That's why I was telling you guys about, you got to be careful who your friends are. When you're best friends with cheaters and people that don't respect their wives, I think Tiffany, just as a human nature, is going to think like that. This is what you're doing, especially when Hotel and Marceau make comments like, "Oh, he cheating too." It's a natural reaction. But I hope they work through that patch. I don't want to be too hard on them, because it is hard when you have a new child coming in. But
I think they'll be fine. I think he does love her. I think she loves him. I think whatever this is, they'll get over it. I think it's just the depression, plus she misses her husband, plus she's feeling insecure with her body and everything, which is normal, which is understandable. So that's why I don't want to be too hard on her.
I think he loves her a lot, and everything she said, we've heard. You may have had sisters or friends go through the same thoughts and feelings after having a baby. And you're right, like what you said earlier, Virgo, because Tiffany has been so messy, sometimes you kind of look at her with the side eye already without giving her a chance. So you're kind of already slanted against her. But I'm sure her feelings are very much so valid. And Lou is such a nice guy. He said to her, "You had a baby and you look amazing. That is so sweet." You hardly hear publicly like a man affirm a woman's body like that. And it's natural. And she did just have a baby. So I thought that was awesome. And I can admit I'm slanted against Tiffany. I already side eye her, but just when you're gonna be sympathetic, like you said, then she had to bring up his dad. And I didn't think that was cool at all. And I saw it in him. He looked at her like, "Why would you do that?"
Well, I think I'll say this, though. This is the only thing I was a little concerned, at least hearing Lou, is that he seemed to be detached. And also, he might think being a good father is just when the child is now in the teens and, able to do baseball and other things. So I think she might have some valid points, especially if he's just away. Because remember, if we see the scenes, Hotel as well as Marceau and Maurice have noticed that as well. So again, they might know something what we don't know. And I think if rumors are circulating around, especially you being on a campus with beautiful women, it's just a natural reaction to be kind of insecure. You get what I mean? It is. But I just think, to me, I'll give Lou credit. He didn't attack her, but he listened. And then he said he would try to be better. And that's really what she was looking for. I really appreciate, to me, I appreciated the honesty that Tiffany had, but I also appreciated how Big Lou, with his personality, just listened. Because that's sometimes what people want. Some people just want you to listen to them because they just feel a little insecure, and it was reassuring a little bit.
Yeah,
That's one
But
of the best
Dr.
scenes
Francis
on this
told her
show.
don't have that baby. He told her don't have that baby.
That's true,
Yeah,
but
but
Tuesday
this
ain't gonna
yeah,
harm
but
you.
she's
she's got
she's
it.
had him. She's had him. He's here. He's a blessing. We'll celebrate, but that doesn't negate whatever she's going through, does it?
Correct, and it's just adjust. Remember, I said life throws us circumstances that we don't expect. A child is one of them because you're
Yeah, no,
now having a new thing. Yeah,
she expected this one because she wanted it badly. So on that
that's
one, no.
true. But he got a job. You get what I mean? He also got a job to work at Alabama A&M as
good
assistant coach.
job.
So
Yeah.
that has now changed it. But the key is, we do say it takes a village to raise a child. This is where you need to have her mother, family members come in to help her because that's really what she needs while he's working. That's really what she needs.
I don't think she because they can afford a nanny if they need one.
Correct.
I think she like somebody said ADR said she's spoiled. I agree. Tiffany's spoiled. Lou caters to everything she wants and needs. He does whatever she wants, and she's used to it. I think this is the first time she hasn't been able to throw a tantrum and get her way. I see that. I get that. But it, like I still say, it does not negate from the fact that she's going through postpartum and she misses her husband. She's normal. I don't think there's anything wrong with missing her husband. The manipulation, that makes it irritating. The gaslighting, annoying. But she does miss her husband and she has every right to, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, they are narcissists now. This is what we said, Virgo energy. It is a microcosm of society. They are showing they want control all the time.
But I want to see how Lou will react to hearing Marceau say that she isn't valued. And I don't think Lou wants to be on the show, to be honest with you. I
Agreed.
think he's only doing it for her. I think left to him, he just wants to live a quiet life. So she's doing everything within her power to stay on the show, even though he doesn't want to be there. So it's like, look, I don't want to be on this show. I didn't want to have this baby. You want to be on the show, have at it. I will come once in a while, but I'm not filming every day. I'm not getting into arguments with idiots. I'm not doing it. If you want this, you can have it, but I will be there. So once in a while I can film with you, but I'm not going to do more than that. He doesn't want to be there. I don't think he wants to be there at all.
Well,
At
I
all.
think, yeah, I think his job is pulling him, and plus, he's doing it. But I kind of respect that. You get what I mean, Virgo? It's nice to see people working. We've seen bum on couch not working, all in everybody's business. So it's nice to see Lou when he does come in. He's there. I don't need to see him all the time. You know what I mean? You could do other storylines, but
Yeah,
Yeah. His
I agree.
absence is with purpose because he's working. So I totally get it. And I'm not saying Tiffany's concerns aren't valid, but he is a black man working. At least he's doing that. And
amen.
he is there for their other son. So, like you said, Anonymous, she just needs a village. She needs her family to help her out. I don't know if she has other friends that are new moms and they can kind of spend time together so she doesn't feel lonely. I'm not sure, but Lou is doing his part as a dad. He's providing.
Yeah, and there might be little intimacy that they can do where he needs to be a little bit more intimate with her. Just ask her and be there. When he is there, you get what I mean? Because they are in Alabama A&M, so if they have home games, that's the thing. And that's just I think that's the thing why I appreciate this scene a little bit is that that's the part that I think can teach us how to have healthy, productive relationships. You get what I mean? Everything doesn't have to be we're perfect in what we say, but even if somebody is feeling or expressing something, you just listen. You know what I mean? You just listen because there might be other things that they're dealing with.
I personally think this was one of the best scenes on this show ever. I'm sorry.
I agree.
It was just raw. It was authentic. It was not staged. Yeah, Tiffany started staging halfway through. She started producing with the whole his dad thing. Yeah, but it began as her this scene and her talking to Stormy. Yeah, those two scenes were really, really good. And I think even outside of the job, I don't think Lou wants to be on this show.
Yeah, I think he doesn't like I think he probably's tired. That last scene where they had the argument, them attacking his wife.
Yeah.
I think he senses that he's tired of that. And that's what I was saying. Hopefully production, if they move forward, I think they need to get to what we enjoyed about the show.
The business, yeah.
Yeah, the business, families, a little shade, but not Madani fight. I have to have drama every time. It's not necessary because most of us are educated, have businesses, and we just like seeing, Melody or Nell, Chris, and see the opulence, see somebody doing a business, seeing it's real because that's our life. You know, we're working to try to understand. Like I miss you know what I miss most? I miss seeing Vanessa Rogers Tracy and those children on the show.
Yeah.
I miss that.
I think Miss what's it called? Miss Van and Carlos are really cool now.
Yeah, I think I think manager of Warner Brothers had to tell them, get your act together so we can get this back. Because that's what I mean. I miss seeing families. That's a lot of people. You need to see them. I don't know if you guys know. One thing I'll say this, not to get off the Love and Marriage Huntsville tangent too much, but I was remembering Deion Sanders. I don't know if you remember the Deion playbook on OWN.
Yeah.
All their children were on the show, but I noticed you don't hear anything bad about them currently as they're adults now. Like they grew up in TV, you name it, but Pilar as well as Dion and their family unit was able to have those young kids become adults and be productive in their own way. Like Shiloh is doing well as a cornerback playing at University of Colorado with his father. Um, Shadur is the quarterback, right? His other son is doing the media, but his daughter is doing well as well. That's what I wanted to see. Because everybody's thinking people of color can't be successful. Like if they are on TV, then they turn to do bad. But I wanted, that's why I think we missed the Eminem kids and that. It's more. I would love to see them shown and let them be able to grow. But more importantly, they had some episodes where they were dealing with the divorce. You get what I mean? It was very serious, but they learned from it that both parents still love them. You get what I mean? And they just needed to do that. But that's what I'm missing.
I'm okay with not seeing the Eminem kids, to be honest.
Okay, because of the fact that they have the other couples.
No, not that. I'm sick and tired of people coming after the kids.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of every time they have a problem with Mel, they talk about Sugar Mama. Now that the kids are off the show, if you notice, the talk about the kids has reduced.
That's true.
So I'm okay with the kids not being on the show, to be honest.
Okay. But I know I missed them at least seeing that. But you're right. These people are vultures. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Because these people, the way that even Beyonce's son, that she doesn't even show they're going after him. As in, it's ridiculous the way people have such a lack of empathy, no morals that they'll go after children. It's ridiculous to me. So I'm okay with the kids not being on the show.
Yeah, and that's another positive way of looking at it. But it is disturbing the lack of civility that people are having because, I don't mind watching, that's why I said, hey, if you're having an authentic and real show, that's why I said this scene, I appreciated Lou and not Tiffany being real there.
Yeah.
It was just nice.
I'm going to drop off now. All right, guys.
Thank you,
night.
Virgo.
Bye.
Thanks for coming up, Virgo, and thank you
for
for
having me.
Absolutely, I love our spirited debates. You are very objective, even towards the Scots. I'm at the point I can't even give them grace. They annoy me so much, and Marceau acts so mean. I'm just like, everything that they struggle with needs to be out in the open, and I don't care. But I'm so thankful for your views because it
Thank
really
you
does.
so much.
So you are
Thank
welcome.
you. All right, guys. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take
For having
care. Have
me.
a good week.
You
What's
too.
up, Miss Black Titanic? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. I love you. I love your channel, Miss Black Titanic.
Well, shows. We're the last Mohicans left after the panel. What you got?
You know what, Anonymous? I'm just so thankful for y'all ladies coming up. And, I feel like this is the year of revelation. So I'm so glad for people like Miss Black Titanic, who is so brave and trending at some point, and Here for Hot Tea, who have done the research into the lawsuit. And then I'm thankful that Melody, she spoke that this is the year of revelation. And, she's putting things out there about the Scots, so they can't just walk around and, be on a reality TV show and act like everything is flowers and perfect, and I know legally it's probably not wise for you to talk about your lawsuit, but at least say you got one, at least say you're dealing with this. So I don't like the faking that they do, and then they just come at other people. So that's why I feel like they should talk about it on the show. So that's my thing. Marceau, he's beyond jealous and mean, and I'm just over him and Tisha.
Baby, I've been over them. I'm just gonna say this. Latifah, if you're gonna wear green and gold, please have gold shoes or green shoes to match.
You talking about their
The
confessional look?
the platinum did not fit with that outfit. It distracts. I'm just letting you know on that. But yeah, but I guess the thing is, it's just it is a year of revelation. But I'm just thankful that Melody did tell us that she's coming back, because I know another content creator was trying to allude, saying she was leaving. But as I told you before, I think this shows a gold mine for her. She doesn't have to be all in every scene, but it's something to reach her consumers who are buying her products. And I just really thankful that as we are revealing the frauds, she's able to get us back to the original purpose of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if she didn't stay, I don't think it would have been fought to do that. And I'm very happy of that happening. Because like this scene right here, there are real teachable moments that people can have as it relates to relationships and businesses and other things.
Absolutely. And it was great to see a Black man be gentle. And like you said, he listened. He was gentle and understanding. And he said, you look amazing. You just had a baby. I love seeing a Black man be gentle and understanding, and he wasn't harsh. He didn't laugh at her. That is very much so needed.
Yeah, and I think I'm really praying that their relationship continues to grow, because again, they both come from divorcees, but they have a beautiful child. Oh, and the baby loves to get breastfed. I'll tell you that, baby.
Yeah,
and even their confessional, they look great. I mean, people don't realize she got the boobs, honey. So their outfits, they look fabulous together. So that's why I said, you can feel a certain way, but as life changes, she does look beautiful. So
I agree. So I hope, like Miss Black Titanic says, I hope that they'll be okay too, Miss Black Titanic. I hope that they make it, and I hope she understands he is just working, and he's probably very busy, because I bet as soon as the new year starts, the baseball team has to start training, and then baseball season starts like early spring all the way to
he'll get a balance. he'll get a balance. I mean, the thing is, you just have to see certain things, how to do it. But when you first start the job, I just know it's common. You're trying so hard to do a good job, and then you'll be focused really on that, and you're not focused on the other part. So I was just happy she spoke up and felt comfortable to speak up about it, because a lot of people wouldn't speak up at all.
And keep that pain in. You're right.
Correct.
And suffer in silence is what I was thinking. So, what are your last minute thoughts? What is your benediction, girl, on this episode?
Well, thank you, Pretty Brown Eyes. Nino Brown loves you, the rockabye. Thank you, Virgo Energy Cache. As usual, your breadth of knowledge overseas to the States is phenomenal. Show Styles and Spirits, thank you so much for doing your commentary. Hotel, I know now everything you do on this show is a prop. Literally. You have no storyline. Get out of the house. Shoot, should have done an unlawful detainer on him, Chris. You just were trying to be nice to give him a storyline, but that's another thing. But I'm glad Melody's coming back, and yeah, the direction of the show is getting back with couples, relationships, businesses, and hopefully they'll keep it going.
I agree. I love hearing about the different business aspects and business topics because I can learn. I can remember watching Melody's lives. She would even tell you where you could order the envelopes that she puts the items in. Like if you don't get like the bigger gift boxes, but maybe you get her duo, just the cleanser and the moisturizer. She was like, and y'all can order these envelopes for your businesses and put stuff out and the tissue paper, like all of that. I try to absorb as much knowledge as I can. So I appreciate the actual business side to this show. I don't appreciate the chauvinism and the disrespect, but I'm thankful that the ladies, they speak up for themselves too much so, including Tiffany, Stormy, in Stormy's special way of calling him the B word, and Melody being articulate and direct and clear and just returning his energy back to him. I'm thankful that they speak up. So hopefully they inspire Tisha. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I appreciate y'all kicking it with me. Thank you to Anonymous, Virgo Energy, and Pretty Brown Eyes. I think y'all are some of the most smart, confident, fierce women. So I'm so thankful that you spend some time with me. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Y'all had me cracking up. Y'all were spot on. And I'm just so glad that we can have good conversation and still keep it respectful and classy. So I hope y'all all have a fantastic week, and I will talk to y'all later.
Bye, Show Styles. Bye, everyone.
Take care, Anonymous.